Não é tempo técnico, mas é intervalo aqui no podcast. Já imaginou se seu time tivesse um seguro para não perder nunca? Pois é, isso não existe. Mas com a Zurich Seguros, quem não perde nunca é você. Na Zurich Seguros, os planos se adequam às suas necessidades em qualquer momento da sua vida. Seja seguro de auto, residência, vida e muito mais. Diferente de alguns times, na Zurich Seguros você pode confiar. Para saber mais, acesse zurich.com.br ou consulte seu corretor.
Sair da escola já com uma formação profissional no currículo? Parece bom demais pra ser verdade, né? Pois é. No ensino técnico do Senac, isso é possível. É ensino médio junto com formação técnica, que acontece durante os 3 anos. Lá, eles usam metodologia para projetos, desenvolvendo competências como resolução de problemas, pensamento crítico e colaboração, além de valores éticos e sustentáveis. Quer saber? Senac. Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino médio e saiba mais.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast. You know, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, or you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And of course, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but still some NFL season left. So I want to go out, catch some games, create that account. Go ahead, use the promo code, save yourself $20 on your ticket purchase. Anyway, as you know, the NFL is here, man. We're moving on. This is, week 13 in the NFL now? It's kind of flying by, bro. Like, we passed the halfway point in the NFL. So it's crazy, but particularly a few games, you know, a lot is riding on this game here. Obviously, you know, it's Thursday Night Football tonight with the Lions and Packers, which we'll, go ahead and give our predictions and stuff on that pretty soon. But, you know, this game here that I'm about to talk about kind of shakes up the NFC North, whether it's a win or a loss. And, you know, it involves my Atlanta Falcons. So now, for once, it's not only Falcons fans that's cheering for the Falcons to actually do something and make something happen in a specific game. Now, look, week 14, that's what week we're in now. We got the Vikings. Atlanta Falcons going to play the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, they've been on a roll, man. This team has been tearing it up so far, 10-2. They're right behind the Lions in the division. So if they win, they can clinch a playoff spot. This is security for them. So, you know, they'll be straight in their division, possibly take the number 1 spot if the Lions lose tonight. So, you know, it's a lot riding on this game for the Vikings, just as well as the Falcons. This is a team, 3-game losing streak. They can't seem to get it together. Kirk Cousins, he's facing his old team in the Minnesota Vikings. This man is coming off of a game where he threw 5 interceptions, just looked absolutely pitiful in that previous game against the Chargers. So, you know, it's a couple things that he's got to do better and that the Falcons have to do better as a collective and as a whole. And one of those things being, the first thing they have to do and the first thing they have to lock down and secure in this game here against the Vikings is the defense. Man, Falcons defense, I don't know what the hell got into them last week, but last week it was beautiful. That was like an amazing game that they displayed defensively from the Falcons. It looked like early on in the season when we seen the Falcons really carrying the team, leading them to victories, and just allowing the offense to do whatever, go lay an egg, and just really rely on the defense. I mean, they sacked Justin Herbert multiple times, 5 times to be exact. They got to the quarterback. They put pressure on him. I mean, they forced a turnover, and they held the elite Chargers team to under 200 yards, which is something to be proud of considering the Chargers have been balling. Now, I know there were some drop passes. I know there were some things the Chargers could have cleaned up, but hey, you got to take the praise where you can get it. For the Falcons, this is one of those areas where they look good. If the defense doesn't come to play, the Falcons just might be toast. But the thing is, with this game, I wouldn't be surprised because they still can't seem to get it right. Every time the Falcons defense plays good, the Falcons offense is out there playing silly and getting penalties, can't complete a pass, can't run the ball, can't move the ball. But every time the offense is playing great, that's when the Falcons defense, they can't guard anything, can't defend a pass, can't defend a run. And this has just been a constant storyline for the Falcons all year long. We've seen this, and we know there's injuries that obviously play a part in this, but damn, like if you're coming in and you're stepping up in the game and you're not adjusting as a coach from Jimmy Lake on the defensive side, you got to be able to adjust and make sure that you're getting the best out of your guys in the positions that they're in or the positions that you're weak in and the areas you're weak in. So I want to sympathize for them, for the injuries. But man, it's hard to do that when you're allowing teams to run all over you and pass all over you. So that's got to be a focus coming into this game against the Vikings. Vikings, they were elite. They were elite last week. They took care of business. They had Addison. He was leading the last week in receiving yards. And you had Jones. He was number 4 last week in rushing yards. So this is a nice Vikings team. And I think some of the things that they'll have to focus on is just taking advantage of the Falcons' lack ability to cover. Like they don't have a certain thing when it comes to putting the ball in the air. Like, you can throw all over the Falcons. There's been plenty of other teams that do it. And it in a way, I hate that they got to resort to this, but just take advantage of whatever the Falcons is going to give you. Because that's what's going to give you touchdown opportunities. That's what's going to allow the Vikings to really capitalize. And I think as long as they play their game, they'll be straight. They feed Aaron Jones and they take advantage of the easy passes that's there, then they'll be all right. Because Aaron Jones is he's gonna ball out. He's gonna do what he does best anyway. And last week, I know the Falcons defense played good, but I'm just still not confident that they'll be able to stop Aaron Jones' run game and the Minnesota Vikings run game. I'm just not sold on it just yet, man. Like, this is a powerhouse in the NFC North. And Falcons, man, they've been just so inconsistent. 3-game losing streak. The offense ain't been able to play good. The defense ain't been playing good. And they're sitting at 6-6 after an incredible start to the season so far. Now they're tied for first in the division. It's just, they've been on a decline ever since the 3-game loss streak started. I forget who was against. It looks like it was against the Saints. When they played the Saints in New Orleans. But ever since that 3-game losing streak started, man, it's been rough for them. They have not been able to figure it out. So I'm hoping that they show some effort and just show some sort of grit to make something happen, because I want to see a good game. I would love for the Falcons to go out here, beat the Vikings. It's going to be on the road. Tough to beat the Vikings at home. Anybody who knows Kirk, the Vikings know that Kirk Cousins better than Kirk. Man, Vikings know the hell out of Kirk Cousins because he was their quarterback. Still got the same head coach that worked with him, all of that. So I'm going to need Kirk to pull out one of these magical games. I'm going to need him to really show up and be Kirko Chains, because he's about to get the chain snatched. Y'all remember the meme in the ATL when T.I. snatched the chain from Lauren London? Y'all remember that meme? This is what it's about to be for Kirk Cousins, bro. He done came to Atlanta. He about to lose his chain. We about to snatch it. He about to get his chain snatched. Because he ain't been playing good, bro. You can't go a game throwing 4 interceptions and then have another bad week. So you have to show up. And you have to have a solid game against the Vikings, bro. Please, man. We can't take too many more L's, especially after a decent start that we had, man. It was crazy. So other than that, look, we got a quick side note too. We're going to jump into that in just a sec, man. I got to talk about my boy Cade Cunningham, man. He's an all-star. And the Pistons, they've been struggling too. So we'll talk about that in just a quick sec. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.